Welcome back to the Back in Time podcast. I'm your host Kyle Autry, joined as always by my co-host JD. JD, how you doing today, man?
Dude, I'm doing really well, actually. Yeah, thank you for asking. It seems like it's been a minute since we last jumped onto a podcast, but hell, we've got good reason to talk tonight. So let's dive right the hell
Heck
in.
yeah. Heck yeah, man. Episode 248. We're getting very close to 250.
That's what she said.
Um, yep, that is definitely what she said. And this could not be a better episode for number 248. We are talking about the life and the career of the great Christopher Lloyd. I think one of the great character actors of his time, dare I say. And he's got a fantastic filmography. I'm interested to hear your picks. I think mine are going to be somewhat predictable as they normally are, but I feel like you're going to have some out in left field, which I'm interested to hear. And yeah,
Totally. This was a great idea by you, jumping into some Chrissy Lloyd, and he's done so much.
he really has. I mean, the guy's born in 1938. I mean, he's coming up on 83 years old. He'll be 84 in October. I mean, his IMDb is as long as the day is long. I mean, I don't know what I'm even saying here.
No, that makes no
But
sense.
well, what can you do? Now he started out, I know, with I believe One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was his first actual film. I mean, good Lord, talk about coming out of the gates with just an absolute bang.
Yep.
And then it seemed like he kind of like fluttered around. He did some Broadway, he did some shows. He caught on with a couple mini series here and there. Taxi was a big hit for him. He had a little cameo and not cameo, but I mean, he's Commander Kruge in Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. I'm sure I messed up that dude's name. Somewhere Dave's rolling over.
Yeah.
But I just haven't seen that movie in 25 years to know how to pronounce it right. But I got to be honest, the first time I ever saw him was as Doc Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what he's probably most known for by most people. But there's so many other great movies. So as a rule, you could pick Back to the Future, but only one time on your list. We can't have it 3 times on the list here. You only get one movie. So I would let's keep it to one character basically of his as a rule of thumb.
I think that rule probably applies more to you than to me.
Right.
Because I definitely thought, I was like, okay, I know 3 of Kyle's top 5 are going to be Back to the Future, Back to the Future 2, Future Trey.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's been in so many good movies. I actually did not have a hard time making this list at all.
That's what she said. You're making this easy on me tonight by making it hard on her.
Sure is. Wow. Oh, you are coming in rock hard. You sure are.
You should see my pants.
And I don't think this will be on either of our lists, but did you see it came out last year, and it was kind of a surprise at the box office, but it was a movie called Nobody, and it stars, one of our mutual favorites, Bob Odenkirk. And it was like this action movie, and he plays like this old man, and he's like I think he's actually like in an old folks home at one point, but he like comes out of retirement. He's just an absolute badass. And I listened to an interview, and he was like, yeah, this is the first time I've actually like been a badass on screen where like I had a gun and was like shooting people down. He's like, I've done literally everything else. Unless he's forgotten his own filmography, which if he has, that's on him.
We'll get to some winners in there, but I think there's a definitive badass role that he has played. I have not seen Nobody. I know it's supposed to be badass good. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was surprisingly really good. I was like, holy crap, no wonder it's been getting talked about so much. But it came out in the pandemic. It was one of like the first movies that they were like, you know what? We're putting it out. And it kind of did okay. It didn't make a ton of money. and then it went to home rental and on demand and all that stuff. But that is definitely a very watchable movie. Bob Odenkirk is awesome in it, and C. Lloyd, he still got it, man.
He never lost it.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of think like at the beginning, you're like, oh gosh, he just acts like he's so old and incapable of doing anything, and then at the end, he totally changes, and you're like, yes, I knew it.
Well, he's a vibrant individual, as we've discussed with Bud Brutzman on the exploration. Fill in the blank.
Expedition, Back to the Future.
There it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
And he talked a lot about in that one that he was just game for pretty much everything as long as it was safe. His girlfriend or wife at the time was just really concerned about that. But yeah, if you watch that show, he's got no problem moving around.
He's everywhere, man.
Yeah. Good for him.
Hell yeah. I hope, I know you've only got a few years left in the tank, but I hope when I'm that age.
Ooh, ouch. Yeah. 241 credits. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the can right now, and 2 already announced on it. Holy moly, are you all right?
Yeah, I just knocked over a picture frame.
Okay, cool.
My phone fell off of it.
I clicked off the screen and thought you had fallen out of your chair.
No, I've got this like little holder for my phone, and I touched it ever so slightly, and it knocked over a picture frame off my desk.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, let's get to the breakdown, man. We'll go our typical 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll have a couple honorable mentions at the end. I'm going to let you go first and lead us off, man. What do you got?
Yeah, so you've already mentioned it as his opening salvo into his career. A movie that has Jack Nicholson, Michael Berryman, Danny DeVito, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
1975, I believe, right? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really good movie. It has to be included. It just, I don't know. I watched it for the first time a few years ago. I had no idea what to expect from a movie from 1975. And I'm not the biggest 1970s movie fan. I think the 70s kind of petered a little bit. But for something that comes in over 2 hours with a mental health angle with Jack Nicholson and some badass Nurse Ratched in there, I don't know. I loved it, and I thought he did an excellent job in there, and it was like a great introduction to who he is and what he's capable of.
Sure. Yeah, I mean that one's really hard to argue with as a great role for him. The only reason it's not on my list is I've only watched it one time. So it was a movie that my dad showed me. I never went back to it. He loved that movie, and yeah, I'm happy you put it on your list.
It has to be mentioned, and we mentioned it. So let's get to Angels in the Outfield. Your number 5.
All right. Well, number 5. I think this one is going to tickle you a little bit, and I know when you love when I say the word tickle. And I'm kind of upset that you already guessed it, because it was a movie that we played on road trips with our college football team. And it is about a boy who prays for a chance to have a family only if the California Angels can win the pennant. Christopher Lloyd in Angels in the Outfield from 1994 as the character Al, who is the boss angel.
Yeah.
Of course. Why wouldn't this be on my list, man?
Don't you love the synergy that we have?
Yeah.
I knew it.
You can probably get number 4 as well, but wait till we get there.
Not only did I know it would be on your list, but I knew it would be number 5.
I'm almost mad that you guessed that so easily. And the only reason I like this movie so much was we owned this movie on VHS. We had the clamshell. I watched this movie over and over and over and over again as a kid. It was one of those movies like on repeat. The Sandlot, Rookie of the Year, Angels in the Outfield. Those were my 3 baseball movies. If I wanted something with a little bit more like serious tone. Maybe we threw in Field of Dreams every once in a while. You know, if you build it, he will come. That's what she said. And I thought he did a really good job in this movie. Yes, it's very corny, but he has a very rare ability to make you feel something with his characters, which I think we're going to flesh out a lot more over these next 4 picks.
Mm-hmm. No,
So
that's obviously
he took a very little role that could have been very corny, and he gave the character some heart.
What's your favorite Tony Danza role?
Ooh. Can I say it's not a role, it's more the song? Hold me closer, Tony Danza.
That's fair. And
Yeah.
I'm confused to why it's not the garbage picking, field goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon.
Oh, well, that's true. Good movie.
Thank you.
Great song, though.
Well,
yeah. I never knew the lyric. I literally thought it was Tony Danza for the longest time. I had no idea it was Tiny Dancer.
And many people would.
Yeah.
There's a Tim and Eric. There's a Tim. I know you're not the biggest Tim and Eric fan, but there's one where they do an old lady is the Terry Green machine, and she wants that tiny dancing man, but not that tiny dancing man. And Ted Danson's there, tiny dancing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Little Tiny Danson and Tony Danza in the same room. Could you even imagine?
Oh. The impregnation rate.
My gosh. Through the roof.
You don't even have to take your pants off, and it's just like, you're with child.
Well, take us to number 4, man. What do you have?
Okay, so number 4, I feel like it will be on your list.
Okay.
Not entirely sure, but in my mind, this is when Christopher Lloyd was at his most sinister.
Okay.
It's when he played a character named Switchblade Sam.
Oh, yeah.
In Dennis the Menace.
Such a good movie.
And just the scene where he's got the switchblade and he's just by the fence just eating that apple, and the cop comes and he's like, you ought to be getting along here. And he's like, oh, I'm just shooting the breeze, eating an apple from a switchblade. I was like, man, I always expected fully when I was a kid after seeing this movie that I would encounter a hobo with a switchblade eating an apple or beans that would try to annihilate me.
Interesting.
Yeah, very fearful.
Very fearful. That's, gosh, I really do love Dennis the Menace. I think this is going to surprise you a bit. It's not on my list.
Well, okay.
Yeah. So, not as predictable as you thought, huh?
Apparently.
Okay.
Kyle's number 4 pick is the Addams Family.
You are incorrect. Again. Yes.
Not again. I got your number 5 right.
Okay. So, yes, moving on over. But yeah, number 4, maybe not. You know what I would like to find out? I haven't looked this up in a long time. I know I have at some point, but what happened to the kid that played Dennis the Menace? Is he still acting? Is he still around? Is he available for podcasting?
Is he still a menace?
I would love, is he a menace? I would love to pick that kid's brain, because not only did he spend a lot of screen time with Christopher Lloyd, who's, obviously a fantastic actor, but, one that we haven't talked a lot about on the podcast yet, which is an all-time great as well, the late, great Walter Matthau.
Okay, timeout. Just learning this for the first time. He played Dirk Calloway in Rushmore?
Wait, Christopher Lloyd?
No, Dennis.
Ooh. Oh my gosh.
Mason Gamble. Apparently he's from Chicago, and he's younger than us. Or probably closer to your age, but my goodness.
God, he still looks like a menace though, doesn't he?
Well, I mean, when your name is Dennis.
Rushmore, he's not done a movie since 2010. Okay. He may be gettable for us. Depends on what he's doing now.
Man, I love Rushmore.
God,
he was in Spy Hard. Spy Hard was great.
Spy Hard was cool. Gattaca wasn't bad. Rushmore was super cool.
Gattaca.
Yeah, you got to imagine he just kind of decided to get away.
And apparently he's alive. And he's
Yeah.
6'2". Good for
Sure.
him.
Not short. That didn't help out.
No. Anyways.
Doesn't look like he has a big head. And if you remember in Entourage, like Turtle said, the bigger the actor, the bigger the head. Vincent Chase, big head. And then Drama says, what about my head? And he's like, not so big.
Yeah, look at Michael Shannon.
Yeah. Big head.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio, big head. So, okay.
Kyle Autry, big butt.
Small head. No, I really do have a small head. I have like a regular size, like large hat size head on a huge 6'3" body. It doesn't match.
No, you're like a Pez dispenser.
I like what do they call those things in Super Mario Brothers? Goomba.
Goomba.
Yeah, huge shoulders, tiny head. Okay, so number 4. I am in the year 1994. And I am talking about a movie. There's no parents. There's no counselors. There's no rules. It's about a bunch of junior high kids who don't want to go to summer camps chosen by their parents. And they make up their own adult-free camp. And they have to hire this ex-drama teacher named Dennis Van Welker. And I love Christopher Lloyd in this role because of the amount of different characters that he plays. And eventually in the end, he kind of gets the girl and he's the hero. Like he kind of comes to the rescue at the end for Mud. So it's not his best movie. It's not like a super like drama filled movie, but you know, I was 9 years old. It was kind of like a coming of age movie for me. And it's another one that I just rented over and over and over again from Blockbuster. I should have just bought it because I must have rented this thing 20 times.
Yeah, you would.
I was taking a drink. I was hoping you'd talk more.
Oh,
that's it though, huh?
I can totally talk. I can talk, man. I can talk out my butt.
Well, those are words.
Those are words, but no, that's a great pick. We've talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah,
in the past, you've brought this up many a time.
We have to cover this movie. I love this movie. It's for me. It's like Heavyweights, Camp Nowhere, right below it. I love those two movies.
As you should.
Yeah, and that's got a great cast too. I mean, bunch of like really good teen actors in that. You remember Andrew Keegan, who's in a bunch of stuff. Jonathan Jackson's in that movie, not Joshua Jackson. God's sakes, not Charlie. I don't want to send you on a giant binging here, but then
shut your fucking mouth.
Then you have the great Burgess Meredith. I mean, come on, the Italian stallion. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even do his voice because you got to like swallow some nails. But
well, look at him.
Move your little chicken ass.
No, that's not good. You should probably never do that again.
I won't. I'll never do it again. Okay, man. We're at number 3. What do you have?
Okay, so the list, the noose is tightening here because there are so many great performances.
Yeah.
I don't know whether to lead with the title, the year. I feel like maybe I'll let you try to guess what my number 3 is.
I'm gonna go with.
You're right.
No, hold on. Don't. I'm thinking of something pretentious. It's coming to my mind. Piranha 3D.
Oh my gosh.
Piranha 3 Double D. Sorry.
You're an idiot.
I'm correct though, aren't I?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
No. How is it not Addams Family?
Well, I figured that was on your list higher. That's why.
Well, the movies that I have higher are better.
Okay. Well,
no,
debatable.
No. I just
basically 2 rules of thought.
And when the Addams Family came out, I remember seeing this movie. We covered it on the podcast ages ago.
Yeah.
1991 movie. I mean, listen to who's in this movie. We've got Angelica Huston, Raul Julia, Ooh, that was racist. I'm
Ooh,
canceled. I mean, even Carl Strukian is Lurch and Dan Hay. I mean, everything about this movie was just so perfect for what I was interested in as a 6-year-old boy.
okay.
I was a lad.
Yeah, that's a fantastic movie, and I can't say too much about it yet. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on over to my number 3 pick, which is different from yours. I feel like this one. I feel like this one's your number 1 pick. I'm going to be honest. So, and here's why. It's a very goofy movie. I don't think it tries to take itself too seriously, and it might just be pretentious enough to be your number 1 pick. Now, with that said, I am in the year 1988. It's a action adventure animation movie about a tune-hating detective. It is a cartoon rabbit's only hope to prove his innocence when he's accused of murder. And of course, this is Who Framed Roger Rabbit from Robert Zemeckis, of all people. And he plays Judge Doom.
Yeah, he
And
does.
I thought he was really, really good in this movie. And it's something that's totally different from him. And if you watch the show, oh my gosh, what is that? The Movies That Made Us on Netflix. They do an episode with this one, and Christopher Lloyd gets to see. I think they recover his actual costume that he had on, and I think he puts it on in the show. I need to go back and watch it again. It's been a little while since I popped out, but he was part of the episode, and he scared the crap out of me. I thought the animation was really, really cool. And I mean, what can you say? Bob Hoskins is just phenomenal in this movie.
And
He's awesome.
shout out to our archives, Kyle. Where were you
Yeah.
proven wrong in the past about
Super Mario Brothers. You got to say it right. Which may not even be my favorite Bob Hoskins movie. I gotta be honest. I kind of love him in Hook. Captain James thing, come on, guy. Just like he's got that weird, like piratey voice going on, and he's just like the perfect foil for that movie.
We gotta do Hook
Like
soon too.
conniving, like you just, yeah, Shmee. Come on, I don't know.
Okay. No, I love this.
I love some Bob Hoskins.
This is a great pick. This may or may not appear in my upcoming choices.
Okay. I feel like it's number 1, but all right. I like where this is headed. We are getting close. We are getting close to the number 1 pick. We're at number 2. JD, what do you have?
So I feel like this might be the end of our friendship.
Oh.
And for that, I'm sorry. But it's Back to the Future.
Okay. Oh, man. Ugh.
Yeah, this is
okay.
Audience. We're sorry. We're not even gonna finish the episode. We're just gonna
son of a,
and then Kyle can just go ahead
and God, I love the mute button. It's a good technique. Oh man. I mean, am I mad that it's number 2? No, I'm not mad. I think number 2's fine.
I've justification, and when I get to my number 1 pick, hopefully my justification adds up. But this is a definitive movie,
right?
I mean, this defines Christopher Lloyd. We don't have him in anything from Dennis the Menace to Suburban Commando without this.
Right.
And he's perfect. He's perfect in every absolute sense of the word. And this movie, I've no complaints, no flaws. It's just there's something that is a little bit more near and dear to my heart.
Right. Yeah. I can't say too much. Yeah.
Figured.
So let me save my thoughts for my pick. So all right. Well, let's get to number 2 here. I don't think this one will come as a surprise, JD. Um, it's another fantastic role for him. It's another definitely very notable role for him that I think he's definitely recognized all over the place for, and that is the 1991 film. Um, it did spawn a sequel as well, which we've covered both of in our archives, and it's about a con artist who's planned to fleece an eccentric family using an accomplice who claims to be their long lost uncle. Festa! Can't do Gomez very well, but I am talking about Fester Adams, and I am talking about the Adams family. Good God, is he freaking good in this movie?
Okay, so
Everything.
Quick, just side. Obviously it was on my list.
Yeah.
Checks the boxes. Everything about it.
Yeah.
Do you feel the first is better than Values? Because Values is damn good.
I think he's better in Adam's Family Values than he is in the first one. But I think the first one is a better movie.
Okay. I couldn't argue with you.
Yeah.
You're an idiot and I hate you, but
yeah, that's true. And it's so quotable. There's so many great faces and expressions that he makes, and if there was a better Fester Adams for this role, I don't know who it could possibly have been. It was like he was born for this role, like the way his eyes are, and when they put on the prosthetics with the bald head, and they put the makeup on him, he just transformed into this like portly looking guy. Even though he's very skinny and almost frail, you believe that he's like this portly Uncle Fester.
Okay, so two questions.
Yeah.
One, could Chris Farley have pulled it off?
I don't think so. I think it would have been a much different movie. Because Chris Farley was always, he's a very, the joke with him was always fatty fall down and go boom. Like that was his joke. Like, fatty fall down, that's how we're going to get the laughs in here. Christopher Lloyd didn't rely on that. Christopher Lloyd had, not that Chris Farley didn't have talent, but Christopher Lloyd has a different type of talent. He can tell a story with his eyes, and that is very rare. Yes. I mean, even just like some of the looks in there where like the mom would say something to him and he would just immediately go like, and you're just like, he didn't have to say anything.
Cool.
So,
second question.
Okay.
Dave, feel free to chime in.
Okay. Dave.
Are you at all interested, curious, excited about Rob Zombie's Monsters movie?
Oh, I'm super excited.
Okay. Just curious. Just when we're talking about these older existing properties and franchises that I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
I'm excited for two reasons. One, I know from interviews that he is a massive, massive fan of the series, and I believe he owns quite a bit of memorabilia. So I feel like because of that reason, he's going to make sure that he does it right. Second, I love that he's doing it. It appears to be all on location. They built the house from the ground up, and the casting that I've seen so far appears to be dead on. Now, of course, Sherry Moon Zombie's in it. That's a staple. I can let that one slide because she's in every movie, but I just hope that she's not over the top and slinging F-bombs left and right, because that would definitely take away from the show for me, because the monsters are not crude, and I want this to be like a true movie for them.
Right.
So
which
it's not a horror film.
Yeah, seeing Herman Munster in anything short of a positive light is kind of difficult.
Yeah. And I don't
But
know what the plan is. I have not seen a trailer. I don't know the direction he's heading. I just figured that he was going to do it right. So I have
we'll
faith.
see. So anyway, so your pick, obviously, I'm spot on with. Love it. Just made me spawn some side quests. If you're looking for a new podcast to listen to, drops every Friday.
Every Friday on the same platforms as this one. Migrate on over there. No, that's hilarious. So let's get to your number one pick here, man. So you started with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest at your number 5 pick. Number 4, Dennis the Menace. Number 3 was The Addams Family. Number 2, Back to the Future. Number 1 pick. Was I correct? What do you have at number 1?
Come on, it's in our archives. 1991 Suburban Commando.
Wow.
No,
Okay.
joking. It's not Suburban Commando.
Okay.
It's probably more so not predicted by you. It's 1984's The Adventures of Buckaroo Bonsai Across the Eighth Dimension.
Interesting.
Have you ever seen this movie, Kyle?
I don't think I have.
Listen to this cast. We've got Peter Weller. We've got John Lithgow. We've got Christopher Lloyd. We've got Jeff Goldblum. We've got Clancy Brown. I mean, this Vincent Schiavelli, Dan Hedaya, who we know that worked with Christopher Lloyd in Addams Family.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a sucker for comic book movies. I'm a sucker for movies that are unassuming. And this it rocks. Peter Weller plays a heart surgeon, rock and roll karate expert or something like that. And Jeff Goldblum is he's just typical Jeff Goldblum, and Christopher Lloyd it's just, I don't know, if you've not seen this is just like a perfect storm of personalities that just comes out in a ridiculously good movie.
I wish I could do a good Goldblum impression, but his cadence always kills me.
As it should.
Just the way that he like phrases words, and like there's always like that little stutter in there. He's like, it's just like he's like can't get it out. Oh gosh, I do love some Jeff Goldblum. I'm really looking forward to the new Jurassic Park. I don't know if it's going to be great, but I am looking forward to seeing them back on the screen. So, but the main reason I'm worried is because of how much you hate The Lost World has me worried about this one, because they're not in the park. And I'm like, JD doesn't like it when they're not in the park. I'm very worried.
And I maintain my theory is correct. When you take Jurassic Park out of the park, you're left with
The Land Before Time. What is this?
Right. So I will see it. I did see Doctor Strange 2. I'm looking forward to the summer blockbuster.
What'd you think?
Season.
I've heard mixed reviews.
Did you see it?
No.
Obviously. Okay. It doesn't sound like you did. I'd give it a 5 out of 10. But I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Okay.
So to me, again, Marvel MCU movies, the Star Wars movies, what I'm assuming the Jurassic Park movie will be, what I'm assuming the Top Gun movie will be.
Yeah, it's a popcorn movie.
It's getting a Big Mac, and it tastes really good, and you feel like shit afterwards.
I've heard that it's way darker than people expected, which some people have loved and some people have hated, and that's the two conflicting reviews that I'm getting. Ooh, that was too dark for me. And then the other ones are like, dude, this is way darker than I expected. It was pretty cool, actually.
But that's the one thing that I'll say that I appreciated, the fact that it felt like an individual came in to illustrate a comic book.
Right.
And it matched artistic intention. And that's what the physical comic books are. Like every different artist has a different take on how they represent the heroes and the villains. And this was a classic example of that, and it felt like that.
Interesting. Well, it's number 2 on my list right now. the next movie I see will 100% be the Nicolas Cage movie.
Oh,
That is on my list,
okay.
and that's the next movie I'm going to see. And until I do, I'm not going to the movies for anything else,
Good man.
because that Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage is just something you can't miss.
But you
It's
have
just,
up until now.
well, I've just been too busy.
Oh,
A lot going on.
look at me. Oh, I'm so busy. Oh,
I know. My life is just like,
I've got
you know,
work and children and a house and have to mow the lawn. Ooh.
it's crazy. Like yesterday, I was wearing sunglasses all day, and somebody was like, "Dude, why are you wearing those?" I'm like, "Because my future's bright."
Well, that's a lie.
Yeah. Oh, you're inside. I'm like, so.
How's that feel? How's that going for you?
I'm kidding. That's an old Chris D'Elia bit that most people probably don't remember.
No, I remember the people's AIM profiles that had that same thing that Chris D'Elia probably stole from.
Yeah, my future's bright. Yeah, I remember that. That in ASL question mark.
Well,
Like,
I'm a 14-year-old. Oops.
preview best. Oh, what?
Okay, let's just
okay.
Good. Run down Kyle's. Let's get Kyle's rundown.
Number 5.
Back to the Future.
Before we get canceled, Angels in the Outfield. Number 4, Camp Nowhere. Little Dennis Van Wilker. Number 3, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Number 2 was The Addams Family. Number 1, I mean, come on, it's kind of obvious. 1985. We named the podcast after it. It's about a 17-year-old student who's accidentally sent 30 years into the past in a time-traveling DeLorean invented by his close friend, the eccentric scientist Doc Brown. Back to the Future. I mean, all I can think of when I think of Doc Brown, 2 things come to mind right away. 1, the hair, and 2, the flux capacitor. And those are the 2 things that always pop in my head right away. And I can picture him flipping it on. They flip on the time circuits. He goes, this one tells you where you're going. This one tells you where you've been. This one tells you where you are. And he starts just explaining everything to Marty. And he's just like, wow, this is heavy, Doc. And just going back and forth and, coming out of the bread truck and you got the dry ice going everywhere. It's just, all 3 of the movies. I can't wait till we cover the movie. I really can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Because it's such a different take on Doc Brown than the first 2 because he's a cowboy, blacksmith.
Let me depress you really quickly.
Okay.
We, I think, are closer in age now to Doc Brown than we are to Marty McFly.
Oh, that's heavy. Yeah. That's super heavy.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Oh my God.
You're right.
Oh, fuck. That ruined my day.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
You've had a bad day as it is. So
yeah, sure have.
Let's get to some honorable mentions.
No, and it's funny as part of that bad day. It was mentioned because I have an intern right now, 20 years old. Marty's 17 in this one. If you're a 40-year-old scientist and you hang out with a 17-year-old kid, nobody threw up any red flags, huh? Kind of weird.
Well, I'm kind of worried about you and your intern now that you're mentioning it. No.
Safe distance. I only do work in the conference room, separate sides of the table. Very safe.
I'm more worried about when you guys go to Super Scoops.
Oops. Oh, cut it there. Let's go. No, I'm kidding. My intern's been awesome. So
nice.
Let's get to some honorable mentions because there were definitely a few. Let's flip the script. Since you went first the last time, I'll go first this time. Big one for me, Dennis the Menace right off the bat. I love that movie. That was a tough one to leave off the list for me just because he's so good.
He is.
When he opens that can of beans, I wanted to cry as a kid. I was so scared.
And then get stabbed.
Right. He's so dirty. His teeth look terrible. I mean, great wig in that one.
Love it.
Yeah, so that's one there. Um, in our archives, Suburban Commando. Now it doesn't hold up, but I do love that movie, even though it's terribly bad now.
Totally.
Before it used to be, it was so good. It was so bad. It was good. Now it's so bad. It's bad.
Mm.
So I blame the Hulkster. You know, some brother.
Ooh.
That's who I blame. And then there is one more on my list. I'm trying to find it real quick. I lost the name of it off the top of my head. Oh, where did it? God damn it, I just lost it again. I said it. Oh, my favorite the Martian movie. Super corny.
Oh yeah,
I loved it.
yeah.
I loved that as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
1999. He plays Uncle Martin. My favorite Martian. I don't think that movie holds up either, but 14-year-old me thought it was a pretty cool time. And I definitely was like a fan of his at that point because I did know Doc Brown in 99. And the always underrated Jeff Daniels is in that movie as well.
I love Dave Coulier.
Yeah, he is so good. And are they not twins? Just one way more talented than the other?
We saw Dave Coulier do stand-up one time.
Yeah.
And he addressed the elephant in the room.
Okay.
And he was like, I'm sorry to anybody that thought they were seeing Jeff Daniels. He was, man, I've seen a few comedians do, like, high-level comedians do stand-up, and I don't think I've laughed harder than when we saw.
Was he that good?
He was that good.
Is that right? Wow.
And not only that, after the show, he went to the bar and met everybody.
Wow.
That's
cool. So super down the hill.
Pictures. Yeah. It was awesome. It was so worth it.
Or maybe he's gambled away his money and he really needed free drinks.
I didn't buy him a drink. Damn it, I'm an asshole.
Yeah. Now he's an alcoholic. He's in rehab. But that's okay.
How is he an alcoholic if he's in rehab?
He's in rehab now. He's always an alcoholic. Once you're an alcoholic, JD, you're always an alcoholic. You're always one day away.
So that's your fault. The fault in your stars.
No, you bought him the beer, not me.
Guilty.
Although I did contribute to Jake the Snake Roberts. I bought him several. Might have slipped him a couple pills. Anyway, what's your honorable mentions?
So, yeah, obviously, Roger Rabbit has to be mentioned.
I can't believe that was on your list. I thought for sure that'd be on yours.
It was hard to not include. Very difficult. Well, and then Suburban Commando, because while we hated that movie in the rewatch in our archives, Christopher Lloyd did an excellent job.
What's his one line from the trailer again? Gosh, I forget what he says, but in the end of it, the punchline is like, and then I ended up frozen the day.
Oh, maybe we need to rewatch it again.
I don't think so. I really think it's bad. It's a very bad movie.
Well, we can't fully judge that until one we have to do Mr. Nanny.
Okay.
And then we have to do Santa Claus with Muscles.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we can judge the Hulk Hogan trilogy.
I might have bought Suburban Commando. I think I was in that phase of like every movie we covered, I just went and bought because I didn't want to rent it. Well, so I may have it and able to. Okay, I might be talked into it, but I hate you for doing that.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you, but I dare you to watch it, and you cannot turn down a dare.
All right. Well, that is it. That is it for episode number 248 in the can. Next week, we're going to be back with 249. That one's going to be a fun one. We are breaking down the teaser trailer for Back to the Future Part 3. Couple surprises in that one. We're a little ahead of schedule, so note to self. don't tell people behind the curtain stuff. That one's already been recorded, so I can give you a little teaser on that one. It's a fun episode, and JD was caught a little bit off guard by how well the movie was received, I will just say. So I'm interested to hear what your guys' feedback on that one. So that episode's going to drop. I believe I have it dropping on Tuesday of next week. We're going to get to recording part 3, and then we'll be starting fresh in June, almost halfway through the year, man.
It's crazy shit, man.
The year's going quick. So in the meantime, thank you guys for supporting us. I mean, the way that we used to do these episodes, in reality, we're probably closer to 400 episodes than we are the 250, but it's still a milestone for us in our book that you guys have stuck around this long for this many years. You know, we're coming up on 5 years on the podcast. So we appreciate all the love and support. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, another top 5 episode, Christopher Lloyd, top movies, and enjoy next week's episode as well. Everybody have a good rest of the week, and see ya.
Bye.